Hello, everybody. Um, I did my presentation three, the Civil War and Reconstruction presentation on the Gettysburg Address. So, first of all, the Gettysburg Address was a speech delivered by Abraham Lincoln on November 19th, 1863. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States from 1861 to 1865. And the speech was one of many speeches that day. And he didn't have faith in the speech. He didn't think it would be remembered or be very important. And the address was dedicated to the Civil War soldiers at the National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Abraham Lincoln spoke about how the United States was conceived in liberty and all the men were created or should be created equal, including slaves. Gettysburg was also the location of the deadliest battle between the Union and the Confederacy, in which the Confederacy ended up losing the battle. And the main goal was to give the Union soldiers hope during the Civil War. And the Gettysburg Address immediate effects. The Gettysburg Address was a major turning point in the direction of the United States. The Battle of Gettysburg was just fought 4 months ago, and the country was in the middle of the Civil War. The Union needed to boost morale and give the soldiers hope. Lincoln's speech did just that. He explained America's critical challenges in their historical context, which also paid tribute to the men who had died in the face of those challenges. And then President Lincoln states during his address, "It is for us, the living, to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." Lincoln, 1863. Lincoln's main goal was to unite the Union and give the soldiers hope to continue fighting in the Civil War. It worked really well, and the Union would later win the Civil War in 1865. And then the Gettysburg Address, 21st century impact. The Gettysburg Address is still regarded as one of the most influential national statements in United States history. Abraham Lincoln's statement that our nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal can long endure still holds true today, 158 years later. The equality of all people has vastly improved since Lincoln's speech. His words calling for equality are still relevant and still referenced in modern protests. Lincoln's idea of a government of the people, by the people, and for the people is what our nation has become today. And then the Gettysburg Address effect on my own life. The Gettysburg Address has not taken a direct effect on my life, but it has influenced society around me. Most people in society are now treated and seen as equals. Inequality is looked down upon and seen as a major issue. And Abraham Lincoln is also on the $5 bill and the pennies, so I guess he does affect my life a fair bit. And then I have a picture of Abraham Lincoln with the American flag behind him, a picture of the $5 bill, and this is like a depiction of Abraham Lincoln making his Gettysburg Address. And thank you for listening.